Coach, and then we'll have a handful of players in here. So.
All right. Obviously, credit to USC. They made the plays you had to make to win the game. I thought the quarterback really stepped up in the third quarter, made some plays on the zone read. And, obviously this is a very bitter pill for us to swallow. We had a lot of opportunities to win the football game. Really the third quarter, a couple drives there that were just, kind of put us out of whack, and then never really were able to get back in rhythm offensively to make the plays you have to make to win the game. And so, Dylan wanted to go. It didn't seem like he probably would be able to protect himself and could go. Obviously, Pritchard went down, a place we're pretty thin at already. So, we'll see how they are tomorrow. But that'll answer your questions.
Coach, that 4th and 1, where you guys opted to kick the 52-yard field goal, what led you to want to kick there versus go for the 4th down that you guys were originally lined up for?
Yeah, we thought we'd make the field goal. That was the kick line. The kick line on that side was like, hey, I went up to the special teams coaches, and they said, no, he'll make it. It seemed like a good time to take points. He's made the 53-yarder against Kansas City, kind of a similar situation. And, at that time, I just thought, hey, if we feel good about it, let's take the points. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. So, we had planned to get up there and try to utilize cadence to try to get them to jump off sides. Obviously it didn't work. You saw him at the end. Game came down to the end. We tried to do a zone read play there at the end, and on the 4th and 1, and unfortunately Emmett got tripped up. So just felt like with kind of the way things were going, take the points, unfortunately we missed the kick.
When it came to Dylan, who made the decision that he was going to go back in? Did he say he wanted to go back in? Or?
He did. Dylan wanted to play. From a medical perspective, they were like, he can't run. He said, hey, I can move around. I just can't run. I just didn't see the respectable thing to do to put a guy out there who can't run. So, I think TJ has a bright future. He's going to do a lot of good things. And I thought, maybe some of the, he might be able to run, make some plays. But really, at the end of the day, I just don't think you can put a guy out there who can't defend and protect himself. I don't think that's the right thing to do. So, the trainers didn't want him to go out there. But they didn't say, no, he can't. They just kind of were like, hey, he shouldn't be out there. So I told Dylan, I love you too much to ask you to play when you're hurt like this.
When TJ was in there, how much of your playbook? How much could he handle of what you guys wanted to run when you in terms of putting in the game plan this week?
Yeah, he did all the things in practice. We had to go to a wristband. Just some of the verbiage and all that stuff. He doesn't get as many reps at it. So I think some of that stuff. On that one drive in the red zone, the play we fumbled the snap. I think we'd have walked in on the screen. We had a great play versus zero call, and so. But he did a good job. I had to call timeout one other time where we were just kind of a little discombobulated with how we were lined up. And so, your first time playing in that situation, in that crowd, in that atmosphere, I thought he did admirably. And if he has to play next week with the full week, I think he'll play really well. So proud of him, proud of his effort, proud of the way he went out there and did it. But obviously, anytime you're starting quarterback, you lose your starting quarterback, and a freshman goes out there, it's going to minimize some. And I think just some of the things, just had to get into the huddle a little bit more so he could communicate it. Obviously it's not what we had planned on, but it is what it is.
How would you size up the defense tonight? They're obviously a good first half. Those 2 long pass plays got you in the second half a little bit.
Yeah, I think anytime we give up 200 yards rushing, we're not going to be happy. At the same time, I don't think anyone's held them, for 21 points very often. They were explosive, and so I thought they had some really, really good moments, some valiant moments. But we lost the game, so we'll have to get better.
Matt, what was your view of the play that Dylan got hurt on? It looked like kind of a lot of chaos back there in the pocket. What did you see?
Yeah, we had run the ball, and then he called a play action pass. So it's a kind of a one-on-one shot to Dane, and I have to see the play. I haven't seen it. I think you would say to yourself, I think in that play you're not thinking, it's maxed up protection. Like, hey, we're taking a shot, not there. Get out of it. I think Dylan was trying to make a play, and then ended up unfortunately getting him hurt. I have to see exactly what happened to see who, what, when, where. But we had good rhythm. We were running the football, and so he ran that play. He ran that play again. He actually called the play action pass once before, and Dylan audibled it to the run because of the coverage they were in. We had the one-on-one coverage. He said, I'm going to take a shot to the receiver, and just, the guy maybe felt like the guy wasn't covered, and then just kind of held it and started running around. So in that situation in the red zone, we just get the takeaway. We'd love to just protect the football and get out of there and get away with points. But again, I look forward to seeing the play on tape.
How good did you feel at that moment? 14-6, you just got a turnover. You're in their red zone, like you said.
I think for us, we know, like I said, I think you guys would know better than me. They score a lot of points a lot of times, right? So we knew we were just gonna have to keep playing, right? So it wasn't like any one play was gonna win or lose the game in the third. We were just kind of like, hey, kind of going back to the decision to take the points instead of going for a fourth and one. It was just kind of like, hey, let's just keep collecting points. I felt like it was just going to be a battle to the very end, and so we punted the ball. We get that takeaway by Marshall. Obviously, it was a great play, a great adjustment by him, and then we have the turnover, but you're just going to keep battling back and forth, and try to make more plays. At the end of the game to win the game, and they ran the flea flicker that obviously flipped the field on us, and then got the pass interference call to put the ball down in there tight. Other than that, we were holding people. We've done a pretty good job of holding them to field goals. Until then.
Do you guys have a flip the field play that you considered there, even though TJ was in the game, with knowing that it was probably going to be hard for him to do all the things Dylan was doing?
I think we threw, I don't know the exact amounts. We threw a couple balls down the field, like the same kind of plays to Isaiah and some different guys. I mean, at the end of the day, we were right there with them. Twice they made contested catches and made good plays, and so our DBs made a lot of plays on the ball early in the game. They made a couple plays at the end. But, we did put a couple shots up there for TJ and to those guys. And then, a lot of things were just read out, right? Like it's a shot to a check down. And, we called a double move to Ja'Cory, similar to the one we ran against Michigan State, and TJ scrambled on it. So, I think we called some of them. It just might not seem like that when you're kind of watching it.
You kind of expect them to run Mayava that much and that way that they did. They ran.
Yeah, we knew the way we were playing them early on that they were going to. We were chasing the counter. We knew they were going to do that. There's always a player for the quarterback. A couple times the player was there and Mayava made the play. So, at the end of the day, on defense, you have to get off blocks and tackle and make plays. And he made some nice plays. John made the adjustment after that to kind of, hey, we're going to play the quarterback more. And, that led to like that at the end. We had a nice play where we got the quarterback for a loss. But yeah, that's part of their offense, right? They'll run the quarterback when you chase the counters, and there was really nothing there. Obviously the nice trick play they ran. There's really nothing there that was surprising, or it was just kind of what they do.
Can you speak to the energy that you guys got from the crowd at the beginning and being up 7-0 after the first quarter? Did you feel like, looking back, that there was an opportunity to have done even more on offense there?
Again, like I said, Mitch, I just know it's going to be a battle. I mean, they played Notre Dame to the very end. They played it. All along I told the guys, we're going to play back and forth. It's going to come down to the end, and you're going to have a chance to win the game. Man, we had a chance to win the game. Now, could it have been better? Should it have been better? Absolutely. But we kind of knew that's what it would be like. It's a big time football game. They're in the position they're in as a result of what they've done. I thought the crowd was amazing. The energy was amazing. The atmosphere was electric. I thought it was special. I thought our guys had some. You lose your quarterback, your left tackle. You have a couple tough breaks go against you, and you continue to battle. That's why I love these guys. So I think that's why we're probably, the loss is hard to take, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I thought we had a good plan to run the football, and pop some runs early that helped us.
Matt, Emmett went over 1,000 yards tonight. Can you speak on his effort, what he gave you guys?
Yeah, I thought he was. As always, I thought he was elite and caught the ball, ran the ball, made plays, and proud of him. I thought our offensive line blocked and protected well, and really, I think the only sack we gave up was that that one on the play action pass that unfortunately got Dylan hurt. Maybe there was another one you guys will know, but no, Emmett just continues to compete and fight and scratch and claw, and unfortunately, we weren't able to get the win for him.
It looked like he was trying to go, you guys call it for him.
Who's that? I don't. Once he was hurt, they never came to me and said, "Hey, he's up." So I didn't have much. I knew, he's had a history with that ankle, and he was in a lot of pain on the field. So when I walked off the field, I was like, I didn't think he'd be able to go.
All good?
All right, thank you guys.